Hi everyone, this is Johnnyonoes and I'm playing Exanima, and in this Let's Learn video, I'm going to be going over Lesson 2, which is all about strikes. To do a horizontal right to left swing, all you have to do is hold down the left click, and your swing will follow through as long as you're holding the left click down. So if you click the left click, you'll basically do a feint. If you hold it all the way down, he'll follow all the way through. If you happen to have the remise skill, you'll also do a counterpoint swing depending on which direction your swing came from. So if you started from right to left, you'll then finish off with left to right. If you start with left to right, you'll do a right to left. To do a left to right swing, all you have to do is you have to quickly click perpendicular to your character to the left-hand side. It's a little hard to get, but it's definitely possible, thanks to the folks on the Steam forums for informing me of this. But if you were to, here you have your cursor right straight out, you got your opponent right in front of you. If you put the cursor to the left perpendicularly to your character, you'll do a left-hand swing. A lot of videos that I've seen tell you to put the cursor over your shoulder or do a huge swing out like that. You don't really have to. All you have to do is just, as long as the cursor is perpendicular to the left of your character, you'll achieve a left-hand swing. So if you're facing straight up, make sure the cursor's there. If you're facing to the right, make sure the cursor's there. It's pretty easy once you get it. To do an overhead, all you have to do is double click. Overheads are pretty hard to hit with, but you'll eventually get it. A tactic that I like to use is after I defeat somebody, I always do an overhead swing just to see what the range of this particular weapon is, to be able to hit someone that is either on the ground or probably a shield user. Overheads are really great. They do a tremendous amount of damage, and it's going to be your primary method of taking down the beasts or anything that's bigger than a human. You can also speed up the swing of an overhead by hitting crouch, which is the default C key, in the middle of your swing. So you can see that it adds a little bit more momentum, and it finishes the swing faster. The last swing is a thrust. If you hold down Alt while holding right before clicking left click, you'll do a thrust. The thrust is a really amazing skill to be able to use to get closer to your opponents. It's also great for when they're charging you, so you can add momentum to your attack by putting momentum in yourself and using the momentum of your opponent to do a tremendous amount of damage with this thrust. Just keep in mind that there are some weapons that have thrust damage and others that don't. So you're going to want to use weapons that have a tremendous amount of thrust if you're going to utilize or to maximize the amount of damage you want to do with your weapon. It's not to say that you can't do a thrust to get close, but you're not going to be doing as much damage with a weapon that doesn't have thrust damage to it. Alright, let's go ahead and see all these strikes in action. So I'm going to start off with a thrust to get close, and then I'm going to use horizontal strikes until I know what our position's at. So let's go for it. There's a strike. Got a little bit of the thrust. I was able to get a little piece of her. Not much. Now that we're kind of in combat range here, we're going to just kind of use the horizontal strikes for now. Did a little Johnnyo turnaround. I'll talk about that in my momentum video. All right, got her a pretty good hit to her side. Let's go ahead and try to throw in the overhead. It's always good to use it when they're coming at you. There we go. Got a little hit on her arm. Let's try to hit her head. It's always a spectacular. Taking a lot of hits because you don't want to use overhead too much because it kind of leaves you open. There we go. Another hit to her arm. Alright, so we've done all three. The thrust, the horizontal strike, as well as the overhead. Let's go ahead and finish her off. There we go. Finish her off with a nice thrust, and down she goes. Alright, so this video is just all about 3 strikes. I'll be talking more about the complexities of adding damage with momentum and all that stuff later, but for our next episode, we're going to go over distance and critical areas on each of the weapons. Alright folks, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about this game, please go ahead and leave your questions in the comments section below. Alright folks, see you in the next episode.